What's up, everybody? It's Lost to LIvin with the JRV. So I've gotten like 5 or 6 direct messages on my personal account, and after I posted the first video, one of my longtime buddies and I were talking about possible videos, and he brought up the subject, or I brought it up, of depression and anxiety, and talking about it. And well, I know a lot about it. So real quick, I'm a dude who suffered from anxiety and depression since I was a young kid. As far as the anxiety thing, I thought it was just a weird kid. And as I got older, I realized it was anxiety and obviously depression. Towards the end of my drinking career, I would pretty much get anxious, get some anxiety or some stress or some depression about something, and normal like alcoholic behavior or addict behavior. I don't like the way I feel, so I'm going to take something to change the way I feel. So I would drink. And the last 5 or 6 months of drinking, I pretty much got to the point where I'd be drinking by myself, sitting out on my patio, and wondering how I could off myself and not leave a mess for my old lady to clean up. And then I'd wake up in the morning and I'd be pissed off, have anxiety, and depressed that I didn't have the balls to do it the night before. Repeat that for 5 or 6 months, and I got sick and tired of feeling that way, and figured stopping drinking may help that. I don't want to make a video solely based on, oh, this is what I did and I got sober, but getting sober definitely helped with my anxiety and my depression issues that I suffered with for a long time. And well, my life's better than it's ever been for the most part. I'm a better person in general, and I don't know. That's up to you. Like, this isn't a video, go get sober. If you decide that's what you think you need to do, reach out to me and I'll definitely talk to you and try to help where I can. Depression. So for me, I had to put pen to paper and figure out what I was depressed about and really get to the problem of me, where it started. Was it a feeling of feeling less than, and just really figure out what the problem of me was, and essentially how I worked, what was my blueprint, and go from there. And then anxiety, I heard it said best. Russell Brand says anxiety is a worry or a fear if things are not going to turn out the way that we'd like them to. I think of something every time I hear that. My buddy Doc Smith, I was taking a human weapon system course from him, and he was talking about anxiety, and he said, when you're worried about something happening and it's causing you stress and anxiety, how often does it actually happen? And a group of us came up with, like, I think it was between like 95 and 97% of the time it doesn't happen. So essentially what you're doing is you're putting yourself through all this trauma, worry, anxiety, depression, whatever it may be, about a situation that never comes to fruition. So why worry about it? Like, it's one of those things, like when I'm not digging a certain situation, like right now with all this coronavirus and social distancing and stay at home and all that, which I'm on my way to, I'm parked about to go mountain biking. With all that stuff, you know what I mean? There's obviously some worry there. I have some financial worry because I'm not working. I have some worries of, I got a mom fighting cancer. What if she gets sick? I've got to worry, what if my kid gets sick? What if my old lady gets sick? What if anybody I know, friend-wise, family-wise, gets sick? There's some worry there. But there's nothing I can do about it. It's out of my hands. I just have to accept the fact that I have no control over it and I can't do anything. And I know that's easier said than done. But sometimes you just got to throw up your hands and just be like, all right, like, I don't have this. There's nothing I can do to change it. I'm going to take a quick break. I'll start exactly where I left off. All right, I'm back. So with that being said, do you have any control over anything that's going on, or do you just gotta, as my buddy likes to tell me on a daily basis, just trust the process and roll through it? If it's something I can't change, I just roll with it. Jiu-jitsu, I learned that early on. Like, I'm a dude who suffers from getting a little angry quicker than I should, and I'm Mother Teresa now compared to I used to be the Incredible Hulk smashing a town. And jiu-jitsu taught me, like, if somebody's got a top position, got side control, whatever it is on you, getting pissed off and getting mad isn't gonna solve the problem. Jiu-jitsu's physical chess. For me, I gotta take a deep breath, think it through, and use my mind and that little gift that I'm smarter than the average bear, and try to think my way out of what do I need to do to get out of this, or what am I doing? Is it just perpetuating this to get worse? And I try to apply that, learning that from jiu-jitsu to other aspects of my life. And some days I succeed, some days I don't. But for me, the pen to paper thing is, do I have any control over this situation? Is anything I'm doing perpetuating this situation or this feeling? And what can I do, if anything, to change it? Or is it out of my hands? So I've had 5 or 6 people reach out to my personal account that followed me for a long time, talking about they're suffering from anxiety and depression. And I've talked to them, and a lot of them asked what I did to get through it and make things better, because they could see a change. And I did certain things. Getting sober was one of those things, but then it was the only thing I had to change was everything. I had to pretty much take my programming that I've learned from society and friends and family and jobs and everything else, take that programming and do a factory reset and go back to who I was initially supposed to be before situations, people, my fucked up thinking, drugs, alcohol, any of that changed that. And that's what I had to do. I had to open up my desktop, and I had 2 folders on that desktop after I took a good look at myself. One was my old bullshit, and the other one said a beautiful life, peace, serenity, happiness, success, all these things. And I had 2 choices. The 2 choices, sorry about that, my phone's ringing. The 2 choices were, and now the radio's on. I'm failing miserably. My 2 choices were open up the folder and go with my old bullshit, or open up the folder that had nothing but positive in it. And for me to do that, I had to take a good look at what was wrong with me. And sometimes you're just depressed and there's nothing wrong with you. Sometimes you have anxiety and there's nothing wrong with you. Sometimes you can't pinpoint what it is or what's causing it, and I get that. I would suggest is put pen to paper and try to figure out, if you can, what it is. Feel free, if you follow me on my personal account, feel free to reach out to me there. If you follow me on the LIvin Instagram account, of course, reach out to me there. Definitely take some time to help anybody, because I had a lot of people do the same for me. So it's what I get to do now, because I've walked through hell for a long time, and I'm finally walking in a direction where I see a ton of sunlight. So don't think if you're thinking it's never going to get any better and you're always going to feel the way you do, I'm living proof, and I can tell you that it does get better. And the way you feel, the way you act, and how your life is will get better and will change. You just got to put a little work in and figure it out. Hopefully this helps. Like I said, if you're going through some stress, anxiety, depression, feel free to reach out to me. I'm always going to make time to help anybody, because 1, it's what I chose to do as a career these days. 2, it's what a lot of people did for me. Hopefully you guys have a good day. Talk to you later. What's up, everybody? I'm going to leaving the house right now. I wanted to add to the video that I recorded earlier, and talking about stress and anxiety and depression and things like that. And I thought of something that I heard and then I did myself. That whole "you are what you eat." If one, if you're eating like crap, you're gonna feel like crap. Two, I started by recommendation from somebody that I met, said when you have bad days as far as anxiety or depression, write down like what you're drinking, like if you're drinking sodas or or you're drinking alcohol, whatever, like soda, juice, rock stars, whatever it may be, and then write down what you eat. And obviously doing this and keeping a little journal, it's not like an overnight thing where you just get an answer to it and you know what I mean, it's end all be all. Like I had to do this for like a month or two, and I was already dieting, but I would have those days where I'd eat like shitty fried food and things like that, and it made me feel different. And I'm pretty health conscious. Worst thing that I eat these days is like ice cream almost every night. I have a bowl, but I eat super healthy throughout the whole day. Guilty pleasures would be like a skinny mocha frappuccino or an acai bowl, which, you know what I mean, it's how bad is it for you. Other than that, I don't do fried food. I don't do fatty stuff, and just try to eat well. And it's definitely, I think it's just been a mixture of everything I do. So think about what you eat, what you put in your body, because that's what's fueling you, and it's going to affect how you feel both physically and mentally. Just something to think about. Speaking of acai bowls, I'm on the way to Acai Republic in Tustin here. It's almost like a daily trip for me to go in and get a bowl from there. And no, they don't pay me or anything else. They're just super stinking delicious. And I dig them. So on the other side of that, like we're talking about like what we eat, how it can affect us. The other thing is what are you doing for exercise? Are you doing any type of exercise? Are you just, I'm stuck at home and it's social distancing and this, that, and the other. There's the other thing. I mean, I get it, believe me, I know when you're depressed, it's hard to get motivated, but you know what I mean? Every journey starts with the first step. So even if it's getting up and doing a couple push-ups or doing some squats or go on to freaking OfferUp or make a trip to Target or something and buy a kettlebell and doing some kettlebell swings, excuse me, anything like that is going to help, and it's going to make a difference. It's part of that physical thing. Eat a little better, exercise a little, and you're going to feel the difference. And if you're feeling good physically, it's going to affect you mentally. And think about it. I mean, when you're feeling bad mentally, how do you feel physically? Drained, down and out, not feeling it. So it's all these little things that can make a huge stinking difference. And just something to think about. Like, I'm no expert on this. I just speak from the experience I have of what worked for me and what got me through it. And man, I'm still going through it. Like last week I had to go to my doctor, and then they set me up for an ultrasound and a CT scan, and told me if it got worse before Monday, I needed to go to the emergency room. So I went to the emergency room on Saturday. It was a ghost town, by the way, and had those things done. Been dealing with a bunch of pain, trying to suck it up and deal with it. And then today I had to do a follow-up with my doctor, and they want to send me to a surgeon. So I mean, I get the stress, I got anxiety about it, there's a little fear of all the what ifs, but there's nothing I can do about it. I just got to try to roll through it. Honestly, today's been not been a bad day. I've allowed myself to get into this funk where I've had some bad moments, and I don't know what it is. It sucks because this morning I turned on the GoPro and recorded a video and was trying to be all positive, and then I don't know, just got stuck in my head. Didn't really have a great ride either. Wasn't happy with my run down Chutes Ridgeline and everything else. So, I mean, things happen. I'm trying not to stress out about it. I'm trying not to have a bunch of anxiety, trying not to be depressed about the stuff that's going on. I'm not a doctor, so I just got to stand by until I get some answers, but it's not COVID, so I mean, there's the positive side of that. And if anybody knew me years ago, I did not look on the positive side of anything. So that is definitely huge. So hopefully this little bit more of information helps. Like I said, I'm not an expert. I'm not a therapist. I'm just a dude that's speaking from experience. If you want to reach out to me, if you follow the Instagram for LIvin, or follow my personal Instagram, you can do it there. As I said earlier, I'll make some time to chop it up with you and help where I can. Or if you don't, just leave a comment and figure out something to get back to you and help you where I can. All right, everybody, try to have a good day. I am pulling up to Acai Republic and about to get my Tahiti bowl. Later.